All right. Hello and welcome to another episode of Stranded on Aeternum. I'm your host, Jay Morty, and today with me I have Sangeticus. We're filming this episode a little bit late, and that's because it was E3 this week. And we kind of got a good chunk of information from New World, but honestly, I was kind of disappointed with not learning anything really new. How about you?
Nothing new in the new world?
Nothing new in the new world because it's coming to release. We had some people that we know that were in alpha that were talking about it. They're talking about the changes and stuff like that. So it's there were some discussions there. Then we read the patch notes. So
I felt that the PvE, the 6 new dungeons, I felt that was pretty like the PvE that we experienced was set by us, right?
yeah,
We
true.
had gathered the troops and we said we're going up here and we're doing this.
True.
This one is set. You got a limited of 5 party members total inside this dungeon. It's said to be the hardest of dungeons where you need to strategize with your teammates to pick your roles. So that seems kind of interesting. We could do some death runs together. We could we could do it legitimately, or we could just say, okay, 5 rogues, try your best. Just throw your bodies to the
That's
dungeon.
That's true. That's very true. But we also found out that you could also increase the dungeon's difficulty of the earlier ones by crafting a rarer stone key for it. So that's also pretty cool.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. I'd love to do the hardest, you know what I mean, and have it a sweat fest, just a sweaty grind.
But what's cool about the sweaty grind is that you're gonna have to grind the elites of the world too, and you're gonna have to sweat to get the rare materials to craft it, right? So it's gonna be pure sweat. And what's cool about it is that the stone cutter or the mason, the guy who makes your furniture, is gonna be able to make the keys. So it's making them more valuable as a crafting class for players. So now I'm thinking about doing it just because I'm a dungeon fiend.
Right.
But we also found out that dungeons will have an X amount of times you can do them with the keys.
What do you mean?
So basically each dungeon, let's say you're able to do the dungeon 5 times. So you're able to personally are able to do use 5 keys on a dungeon.
Okay.
So but let's say me and you are together, we can technically do the dungeons 10 times. You get it? Because
one key could be used 5 times, right? But then because you and I
the keys get smashed when you use them.
All right.
Okay, so the keys get smashed, right?
Okay.
But you can only smash 5 keys per dungeon, let's say, for example. So there's the amount of keys per week you can smash. So,
there's a cap like that.
Yeah, there's a cap like that. But the thing is that the cap is personal. So you could use your 5 keys, and then I could use my 5 keys. So if the more people that invite you to dungeons, the more dungeons you can do.
The more keys you can use.
Yeah, exactly. So let's say we party up together, we can do it, and we have 5 keys each. We can do it 10 times.
10 runs. 10 runs. Okay.
You get it? Yeah.
Yeah, I was concerned that you were telling me there was a time limit cap once you make it. I was like, whoa.
Oh, no. I was there's a weekly cap of how many times you can do it per dungeon.
I don't like the weekly cap. I don't like it, but we'll eat it.
Yeah, that's true. But they did have some good reasoning behind it, is because they don't want people spamming dungeons and spending all their time there. They want people to go out into the world. So you have to go out into the world to craft the keys, and then once you're done crafting the keys, you have to go back out to the world to start crafting more or do other things. Level your... Sorry?
I want to be there. I want to be in the dungeon.
Same.
I want to live in the dungeon.
Yeah, but now how sick is it that we're going to have to go kill elites? Imagine we get so GG geared that we can take on elites just 2 people, and then we can just fucking speed farm keys.
Listen, I mean, if you think about it, right? If you think about it, in the last beta, when I was in the harder leveled area that I should not have been in, that dodge changes everything.
Everything. It's actually crazy.
So you technically, if you wanted to, 2 people that are under leveled fighting an elite can technically whoop ass.
True.
with your skill, with your dodge, using your dodge properly and timing it right. As long as they don't shoot projectile homing missiles, any kind of homing magic, or
Hey, we don't know yet, man.
there were some creatures that did that. And
Okay.
those were the worst.
Okay, I have a question. I have a good question for you.
Yeah, sure.
What would be the most annoying mechanic you don't want to see in a dungeon, or skill you don't want to see an enemy have?
The most annoying skill
Skill, ability, anything. What
would
like the
be would be a slow, would be like an immense slow, or even like
oh,
a binding.
or like a snare. Like you can do something but you can't move.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, the tank is
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, for me, it would be definitely like a stun ability. Like I don't want to see a perma stun, like a caster, like a little dot comes over your head, and then in 3 seconds you're just gonna get stunned and you can't avoid it type steal. Like I don't care if it's like something you can dodge, I'm down for it. But if it's something that like it's gonna happen as a mechanic, and like there's no way to avoid it, like you kind of have to find a way to sit through it. I'm not down for that. That would be something I wouldn't be down for.
Oh, another gross thing that I wouldn't want would be when you turn the ally player into an enemy and he gets like zombified for like a moment where he starts
Oh
attacking people.
yeah. See,
I hate that all the time. I probably hate it more than the stun. I
yeah.
probably hate it way more than stun. Such a troll move, and it's just like, okay, I'm attacking my teammates, and then they fight you back. It's like,
Yeah, and then they like in some teammates they just like one shot you because they're like fuck you bro, why are you hitting me, and then just like clap. You're
or
like,
when you get
bro.
that tank, when you
Yeah.
get that tank under that spell, and you scowl like, okay, run, run, run.
Yeah, and then the mob is chasing the tank, and then the tank is chasing the person. It's like
Something I don't want to engage in, at least in the beginning.
honestly, those mechanics always made me laugh because like when you first encounter them, everyone's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And then when you learn it like later on in the game's life, it becomes so funny because it shows the people who like know how to do mechanics versus who don't, and it's like wow, it's like and you just see them get like trolled running around in circles, like bro, what are you doing? And it's like to me, it's so funny. Like I try to teach
Yeah,
those people, like I'm like, yo, you gotta do this, make
I
life
mean,
ease.
I guess that's definitely a troll mechanic. That should
Oh,
it be?
oh, 100%. Like honestly, that was a really good. That's actually a really good.
I'm laughing because there's so many bad memories of
Oh,
like
so many, so
wipes from
many.
that one thing. It's like, oh, yo, let's bring in this guy, man. He's like the best warrior that I know, and then it's like, okay, my guy now.
Yeah.
Finished.
And then,
Starts one hits the healer, one hits the DPS. Goodbye, Charlie.
exactly. Also, like another thing I don't want to see, but that's kind of like it's not really a mechanic, is that I don't want to see one mechanic bosses. If you understand what I mean, it's like oh, he does one thing, he stuns. That's it. So avoid the stun. And so it's like you damage him, AoE stun, avoid. Oh, damage him, AoE stun, avoid. Like like I don't want to see one trick bosses. Like I want them to at least have like 3-4 abilities, mechanics. Like I want to have to like learn the dungeons. Like you know what I mean? I want like
Yeah.
kind of like a little bit of depth. So I really hope that they're gonna get that because they said there's gonna be puzzles in the dungeons, so that's gonna be pretty sick. So it's like you're gonna have to get like people who know the dungeons, who know the puzzles. It's gonna be like the difference between like a 5 minute run to like a 20 minute run. Like you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing what I find sick. Imagine like honestly, I'm just gonna throw this out to New World if they ever listen to this. Like imagine they have like speed run ladders like like Diablo 2 for
Like
dungeons.
that sounds like, okay. So then the whole group like basically gets the number.
Yeah, a whole group gets like the time. So it's like weekly best times or like monthly best times or yearly best times, like you know what I'm saying? So it's like you can see like who's performing the best and it'll be like server, and if they really want to make it like social integratable, like you can make the special board for it in the cities, because like how we have like the what's it called? The guild board. We have the town board. And then we
Yeah.
have the ladder board. That would be sick. I let people know on the server how everyone's performing. So it's like, imagine like messaging the best guy server. It's like, hey dude, can I have a carry?
It's like, yeah, 100 gold.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows that's gonna be a thing. This is why, like, yeah, it's definitely gonna be a thing.
What about to negate the constant, like the just when you do a dungeon, you know it kind of thing?
Yeah.
To negate that, you put in a boss rotation. You have like 3 different boss characters, and it's like, okay, yeah, this week it's Jake. The week after it's Josh, and then the week after it's Jill. You know, like you have a boss rotation where these guys, like they'll have like, for example, we have 6 dungeons, correct?
Yeah.
So in
On
those
launch.
6 dungeons, So in those 6 dungeons, you have 6 different bosses, probably with 6 different, like 6 different mechanics, right?
Yeah.
All you do, you take a reskin of 2 other bosses that you already have, and you throw them into a rotation inside a weekly rotation. So technically, if you did it weekly, you do like 4 weeks, right?
Hmm.
Four different bosses. 4 different bosses, right?
Bro,
4 different bosses in the rotation, and
I was just thinking, I was like, why is he doing that?
and they just do a reskin, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that's interesting. That would be something that would spice up the dungeon. You know, you're not always walking into the mine. What was it called? Academine?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
Anyway, the mine that we had just seen, like you're not just walking into that mine every time. You're not always hitting up the same boss every time.
Yeah.
At least for, you know, the dungeons, right? In terms of your world bosses, the end game boss, I believe would be Isabella.
Yeah.
You keep that kind of that.
Isabella is gonna be a dungeon boss, but then they said that she might have a bigger. She definitely has a bigger purpose in the lore and later on. So like, dude, the fact that like we might even get raids, like, and if we do get raids, like I wonder, like, is there gonna be 10-man, 15? I hope it's like 15. Personally, I feel like that's a good number because when you start getting to 20-man raids, I feel like it starts getting out of hand. Yeah. Like real quick, but like the world raids are sick because I want the world bosses to be pretty hard. That you would either need 5 max geared players or like 25 plebs.
Right.
Like that's like, or like 50 plebs. Maybe like 8 players. Like I want to have to chat in the world and be like, yo, let's go. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, there's that I'd love to see.
Yeah. The farm racing is gonna be sick.
That's gonna be sick. I mean, guaranteed. Like, what I do know for sure is that there's gonna be diehards. No matter what happens with this game, even though, like, whatever they do, whatever gets implemented, I know that I'm gonna probably stick with it. You know, even though I don't like it, some of them things that we were talked about last episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever gets put in, like this is it. This is what I'm gonna be. This is the game that I'm gonna play. You know, so I know that those diehard people, the communities are gonna sprout, and like the way they're gonna communicate, it's gonna be very interesting. It was like a non-scripted event. Those things are going to happen in the world.
Yeah,
we've seen it already. It's happened already.
Yeah,
where clans get together and they just say, "Let's surround this town." And
yeah. Well, dude, remember like how we were going out doing some like drunken raids with the guildies?
Yes.
Like those were like, you know, sick, and then we were like pretty much like trying to wear down the resources of our competing guild or faction. So it was pretty funny because like they ended up really freaking hating us.
Yeah, I didn't expect that response within a week.
Yeah, I did not. Yeah, same.
Imagine a
So
year.
yeah, like they like I guess we went a little bit hard on them by forcing them to always go back to town, and then we were just like making sure. So yeah.
So describe that. I don't think I participated much in that. You
Well,
know.
yeah,
So.
because that was happening around from 3 in the morning till 6 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like a lot of the guys were either coming home or wanting to drink and stuff like that because a couple of us were in like slightly like different time zones.
Hmm.
So yeah, but like they were kind of like pretty much just green faction because we ended up being on the Asmon Gold server by accident because then he got transferred off. But we had all like the Asmon stands being like the mercenaries.
Hmm.
So they stopped us from farming. They were kind of like AI training us, and then we started AI training them, and then it became like kind of like a shitstorm. But yeah, since we were kind of like outnumbered 3-1, so it's kind of like bullshit because like that's what happened when a streamer joins the server. Kind of becomes like
Yeah, that's a bit
I
whack.
want to be with him, like you know what I'm saying?
Right. Do
Yeah.
anything for clout.
But then when their numbers like kind of like dwindled, when their numbers kind of like dwindled, we would go out at night and kind of like fuck with them hard. And since we're kind of like used to for like the 3v1s, when it became down to the 1v1s, we were like, ah, and then we didn't let them farm, and then we just kept Wing them.
Oh my god.
Like we would pick them up, and then we would just axe them right in the back. So it was just really funny.
One thing they talk about secure trading?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
There's a
I've
whole
stolen a lot of things. Not a lot of things. I've stolen things off of the floor
yeah. So
and into the
basically,
tavern.
if you ditch something on the floor, only you can see it now. And for trading, you just gotta like request trade with people.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like
okay.
World of Warcraft status now,
Hmm.
but it actually looks a lot nicer and way better. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Oh, they increased the guild companies by 50, so
By
we can.
100.
Yeah, so now it's at 100. Yeah,
Hmm.
so it's pretty good. It's good.
Yeah, so that we don't have to have 4 different sub factions.
I mean, I found that was pretty sick. I found like having sub factions was sick, like the AM guild and the PM guild.
Right.
you know.
Radio Gaga
Yeah.
Guild.
And then there's like the in betweener, the central
Yeah.
guild.
But how do you even like regulate that, right? You know, it's,
I mean, we're all in the same Discord, and then we just force everyone to wear a tag, like saying if you're which section of the guilds you're in.
mm,
And obviously, one guild's going to be the hierarchy guild of the OGs, and then the other two guilds are going to be like the farm guilds. And then we obviously just gives people we trust. Like, wait, you
yeah,
want to
you
run
gotta
it?
switch out.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Because yeah, but now that we can have 100 people, in a company, we might not have to worry about like uh, like defending as much. Like we won't have to make as many alliances because
Mm,
like out of 100 people, you can get 50 people online to potentially join. Like, you just got to make sure
yeah.
you're active. Right.
Yeah, and that's another thing. That was something that well that those alliances were I find they were really great in terms of like community building.
Yeah.
We had to lean they had to lean on our guild in order to defend the territory,
And
and we
take.
had to lean on theirs to take,
Yeah.
you know, which we lost.
Yeah, but the mind games we were playing were pretty sick. Like the fact that we were promising,
Yeah.
like the like, what was it, yellows, fucking to help defend yellow versus green, because yellow promised they would help us, but then they bailed and then we bailed on them and then green took them over, because they thought we were
Yeah.
backing them up, but then we defended like our other purple dudes to the T, and we
Problem
were
is
just
that
like,
our purple dudes they attacked yellow,
yeah,
and green was the real threat.
I know that was the mistake.
Yeah, that was
It's because they didn't want to raid. They didn't want to raid with us. They didn't want to raid green because they knew they weren't gonna win. But we're like, if we had your help, we could win.
yeah, or even try. Like you don't lose points, you only gain points, and you gain
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, when we tried to help yellow into green, the very very first war we did, like I went in at like level like 35, Bro, it was a slaughter, dude. Like, all everyone on the greens was like level 50, and they were just. It was like,
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I remember.
it was
And then I
like,
remember for us, what they did was the strategy was that they ended up equipping everybody with the flame staff,
yeah.
like because it got like buffed or something, like 2 days before or a day before. So like that, these are the people that you're going to be dealing with. You know, if you're listening to this like right now, you need to understand that the people that you're dealing with are like down to the metric. Like they're
But here's
definitely
the
going to be some diehards.
yeah. So it's literally gonna come down to two things. There's gonna be a cookie cutter meta,
Hmm.
and then there's gonna be like if you're really skilled, you can fight the meta, and you can actually like like prevail with it, and it's gonna be sick. So you're really gonna see like you're gonna see these people with these one trick builds, and you're gonna be like, oh, what the fuck, that's crazy damage, and then you're gonna get the other spectrum for the cookie cutter build, which is like high DPS, but like oh everyone runs that build like type of thing, like you know what I'm saying? It's
The
like
eye roll to the side.
yeah, like exactly, you know what I'm saying? So like there's always going to be those types of people, which is going to be sick because I can't wait for like the people who are really like into the maps, like updating maps. Like imagine having like to know where all the resources is in the map. I can't wait for that.
Mhm.
Which
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, go.
go ahead.
No, that's it. That's you.
I mean, yeah, that's fine and dandy, but for myself, like, I don't know, man. I hope all the resources. I hope they're clustered. Like, I hope they're not just like spread. I hope you can find strawberries all the way in the northwest, and you can find strawberries in the middle, and you can find strawberries in the south.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like,
like they do kind of like okay. So what I find weird about this game is that they're kind of like realism fantasy, if that makes sense.
it kind of does. I mean, listen,
Like you can
it's
only
based
find
in the real
oil.
world,
Like you can only find oil where you would actually find oil. Like you know what I'm saying?
in the shores.
Yeah. So, like I'm pretty sure they're not gonna put strawberries in a tundra unless there's like a berry that can technically live in a tundra, and then they'll just name it that, because bro, there's over 1,000 ingredients, bro. It's fucked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Bro, there's like just the fish alone. There's like 100 different fish. So, and then there's different weights of fish. Yeah. People are gonna make a killing. People who literally, bro, this is gonna cater to two different types of people. It's gonna be farm simulator for some people, and it's basically gonna be like fucking hack and slash for others. So it's gonna be pretty sick. And
Hmm.
honestly, they're doing a really good job in complementing each other, because honestly, in a lot of MMOs today, it's like you're either your crafting skills are OP and it's meta, or it's useless. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they're finding a good balance.
All right. Where everybody can make some money.
Everyone can make some money, and everyone can craft the things they want to craft, and you know. And the what's cool, like for me, I'm gonna try and max out blacksmithing. So I'm gonna try and save all my high tier resources for that point.
Right.
So like I'm gonna be relying on drops. Well, I'll be relying on my crafting and drops, but probably more drops at first till my crafting's higher. Like if I'm getting higher drop rates than I am able to craft, then I'm gonna equip that. But then once I craft enough that my equipment crafting is higher than that, and like you know how like the game scales, like you just go back and forth till you reach the crafting cap. So I was just thinking I was just gonna make like greens and blues and then save the legendary materials for like way down the line. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
But honestly, we kind of digressed from today's topic, which is dungeons, right?
Oh well, I mean, listen, the dungeons are pretty clear. You know, you got
Pretty sick.
enemies, you got multiple bosses. Yeah, that's fine and dandy. Seen before. It's necessary. It's definitely something that's liked as an addition, but I felt that it was always going to be.
Yeah.
Like, if they want to, it's always going to be. You know, there needs to be a a PVE aspect. I'm such a PVE kind of person, so
Oh,
you
there's a
know,
lot.
glad that they added it in. I was expecting them to add it in. we got 6. I know in my heart that it's going to be more than 6 by the end of this year.
Maybe not the end of this year, but definitely by the
Yeah, no,
end of
actually
the.
by the end of this year, like
Yeah, you
after
think
the
so?
first 6 months, yeah, because it's 31st that it drops, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, maybe people will take 3 months, like October, November, December,
Yeah, the fact that they say they
to
have big
grab it.
surprises for us after the game launches, I'm really curious what those big surprises are. The Great Sword needs to be one of them, bro. Great Sword
Monthly
fiend.
sub, monthly sub.
Well, bro, like I don't know why I heard this, but like for some reason I forgot where I read this, but do not quote me on this. But like apparently Prime members might get the game as like part of their Prime subscription. But like if you don't have a Prime subscription, you can't play the game type of deal. So it's either you pay the $40 and you get it permanently. You don't have to worry.
Yeah, but what if you have both? What am I gonna get refunded or what?
No, probably not. Because you have it. Yeah, probably not.
No, I mean if they do that, I mean, I'm not really gonna complain. I don't care that much. Like I think they're throwing a lot of, and that's nice. They'll make it free, so anybody in the world could technically play it, and I think that's where that would be good. But
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think maybe they should do that
the,
around Christmas time, make it a little special thing, like
like
we want to give
I said, don't quote me on that because like I forgot where I heard
right.
that. So, like I said,
Oh, but it's
it's
good
fake.
something to think about, something to talk about.
Well, for me that's
Even if
fake
it ain't
news.
real,
So for me, it's kind of just
right?
a little bit of fake news. You know?
Hearsay. It's Judge
Yeah.
Judy.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
hearsay.
Exactamundo. Yeah. Pretty much. But yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope they have like really cool puzzles. I really hope the puzzles aren't simple
Yeah.
that they added in the game. Like the first dungeons puzzle was like you go stand on that platform over there, and I'll stand on this platform over here, and it will unlock the dungeon. Like you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
my biggest concern. I don't want to. There's two things I don't want to encounter: a puzzle that's too hard where you're stuck,
Yeah, I know.
and a puzzle that's too easy where you're just like puzzle.
Well,
What?
I rather a puzzle that's harder than easy though. I rather be on that side of the spectrum than the other because at least eventually there's going to be like someone who will figure it out or someone that amongst our group of friends or maybe even ourselves who figure it out and then we like we'll be able to do the speed runs like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that reminds me of when we had played that game together, Valheim,
Yeah, exactly,
and we had discovered we were like, we have to do this. It's like, oh, and then it was just a huge revelation. I think I was navigating a boat when I discovered
Oh,
the
the
trick.
canal. The canal?
No, not the canal. No, we had to do something. I don't want to give it away. I guess for anybody who's playing and hasn't done it yet.
Well, Valheim
But we
is
had to find a specific item in order to summon a boss.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I see.
And
I
then I
see.
had called you, and I was like, "It's this, man."
Yeah, that was sick. Like, yeah, see, because like we decided to not look up a guide, so like it left for like a better
Yeah,
experience. Like, you know.
yeah, because we actually
So
had.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't you rather it be hard than easy? So,
Yeah, but not like.
it's got to
But
be the
then you're
right
at
hard, like you know.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay,
The difference
so sorry, go.
the difference between that game and this game is that in this game, like your progression could be the ultimate difference between owning a town and not owning a town. Your
Oh,
progression is the ultimate difference between being the king or being the rival.
true.
So that's the difference. In the other game, it's like you can take your time. It's your own pace. It's linear. Going this way. Problem is with the other game, everybody's going like this, and then they're gonna encroach on you.
True. True. So, just before we wrap up, what would be your dungeon
Already
role?
wrapping up.
Oh, yeah, we're almost done. It's the last
Probably gonna be
topic.
DPS. I would do musket master.
So, like range DPS.
I always range DPS. I like range DPS. The musket also had a trick where you throw down traps, kind of like the hunter in another game.
Yeah.
So you throw down those traps. Uh,
Grenades.
I don't like stun on me. Definitely gonna use a stun on a creature.
Yeah. Well, you can't stun certain creatures. You can't like stun lock them. So like we're gonna have to rely on those abilities. Like
Yeah.
hopefully. Like I hope that's another thing. Like I hope they don't make like bosses too immune to CC. Like I feel like every boss should have like a CC that they're weak against and a CC they're strong against.
Right. Yeah. Weaknesses.
Yeah.
Weaknesses and strengths. So like, maybe the tree the fungal boss won't be susceptible to bullets, right? Or arrows.
Yeah.
But if they're a flame arrow,
Yeah.
then it gives you that
Exactly.
extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that even with that too.
Yeah. Same. But like the way I was thinking of it too, in another way, was like let's say a boss could be slowed but not stunned.
Hmm.
So it's like, but like he has like, and you never want it to catch up to you because he's super strong, right? So it's like you have to slow him the whole time as like one of the characters kites him type of thing, or like a boss that's like he's immune to slows, but so you have to use hard CCs like a taunt or maybe a whatever if a class ever gets a fear
Yeah.
later on, or like like a stun itself, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that would be fucking sick.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So many things to think about
so many.
when getting in there, and when we got a month, we got 5 weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks, but like we have
It's
like
coming, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming.
not only
It's
that, what do we have like 3 weeks?
no July 20th.
Okay, you were counting all the way to beta. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so 5 weeks, man. It's like that's really close. That's like technically 5 episodes away.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. And then we'll have shit to talk about in the beta. Shit we don't like, shit we
We're
do
gonna do
like,
it.
our adventures.
We're gonna do it. We're
Yeah.
gonna do some shenanigans. We're gonna bother people. And we're gonna get bothered. We're
Yeah.
gonna have some fun.
I'm gonna stream. It's gonna be shit quality until I either until I get a new graphics card. Honestly, that's gonna be my first donation goal. Be like,
Well,
hey
let's
guys.
get there. Don't start it off with shit quality. Let's just do what all the other people do. It's gonna be the best thing in the whole entire world, man. It's gonna be the best ever. Like you,
No,
bro. You'll
I
never
don't.
want
I
to
don't
watch another
wanna. I
streamer.
don't wanna lie to my viewers.
Yeah, I know, but you don't tell them that truth.
Yeah, but like
You don't tell them that truth.
no, because then I'm gonna be telling them like, yeah. So like the first goal is getting a new graphics card. So like whoever wants to dono,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like I was
Each
reading.
guy.
I was reading my Twitch affiliate terms and agreements, and I think I'm not gonna go for partner. I think I'm gonna stay where I am as affiliate because as affiliate I can stream on other platforms as well.
Good.
So yeah, and as a partner I can't, but then I don't get invited to the streamer stuff. So like, I think it might be good to potentially be a partner for a short time to gain those connects and then just become an affiliate. Lol.
Just if I was you, I'd be quite honest with you. I hope this isn't like something that would bother people, but what goes up must come down.
For sure, for sure.
So
Like
wait
the
for the
hot tub
next one.
streams. They got demonetized and put in their own category, so now like they're all have their own little corner.
They're probably not doing it anymore, or they're
A
probably
lot of them
"Subscribe
are
to my
not.
own."
Yeah, a lot of them are not doing anymore because you can't monetize it. Ad
There you
money.
go. So
Yeah. So yes, that's been another episode of Stranded on Aeternum. I'm your host Jay Mori. Check us out on Jay Mori TV, YouTube, and Twitch.
pool stream,
Pull stream soon.
hot tub stream. Come check it out. Join Aeternum. Isabella cosplay. Let's go.
Yeah.